Hey everybody, Graham here from therecordingrevolution.com, and today is an awesome day. This week marks the 3-year birthday of the Recording Revolution. So 3 years ago this week, I wrote my very first post on the blog. The post is your home studio for $500, I believe. You can go check it out. It's a little outdated. The specific gear setup doesn't quite exist the way it does now. But the idea is still the same, and almost 500 posts later, couple hundred videos almost later at the time of this taping, the Recording Revolution has just exploded. And what started out as just a random side project for me, a place to catalog my thoughts on recording, document some of the projects I was working on, help answer questions for some of my friends who are musicians that wanted basic home studios. That little side project idea has just turned into an entire tour de force of training and tutorials and answering people's questions and trying to connect with you guys in a way that I never thought was going to happen. So it's a big time to celebrate 3 years of doing this. I don't know how I'm still writing and making videos. You guys keep asking great questions. I keep learning things, and there's so much to talk about with recording and mixing, and I hope and pray to do this for a very long time. I feel blessed to be in this position, and it's crazy that there's millions of you even listening to this. So thank you for your support. If nobody read the articles and nobody watched the videos, then this would all be a waste of time and I wouldn't keep doing this. So that being said, I thought a great way to celebrate the 3rd-year birthday for the Recording Revolution would be to quickly highlight sort of the 3 truth statements of the Recording Revolution. Not just the website, but the whole philosophy, the whole era that we're all living in, whether you read the blog or you actually visit therecordingrevolution.com or not, you are a part of a literal recording revolution. There is a revolution going on in the world right now. The year is 2012 as I'm speaking to you now, and it's an amazing time to be making music, and there's a few things that I try to point out that are true about this revolution and that help get you focused on making better music in your studio, whether it's a home studio as a hobby or a full-time professional studio. These things apply. So here are the 3 truth statements, the 3 constants, sort of the 3 axioms that I believe in wholeheartedly and I think make up this revolution we're living in. Number 1 is that gear is no longer an excuse to you not making the music you have in your head, okay? Gear is so affordable these days. You do not need a mixing console any longer. You do not need tape machines. You do not need racks and racks of preamps that are expensive. You do not need racks and racks of outboard EQs and compressors and reverb units. You don't need a bunch of cables. You don't need a massive room. You don't need really expensive microphones. The cost of technology has just come down immensely. I think we're all aware of this, but this is the whole reason the recording revolution exists, is that what was now at one point just an art form for the elite, the people that were doing this professionally. You know, you did a trade, you learned it, and you could get good at this, and you'd have access to the expensive gear and a nice studio. And one day maybe you'd own your own studio, and it'd be a good investment for you as you could continue to use it to generate business and enjoy making records for other artists. Well, that's not an exclusive thing anymore. Now anybody can buy a Mac and you have GarageBand already loaded on it, and you can start making music on a laptop or an iPad. It's crazy. So those things in general have allowed the excuse of gear's too expensive to be removed, okay? So, how much you spend is up to you, but to get in the door, you don't need more than $300 to get going to make a record. I've written about this on the blog also. So this is the bedrock of the recording revolution. That gear is no longer an issue, and there are people making great sounding records on a laptop with a USB interface and $100 microphone. Professional artists that are doing this, okay? Guys like Ari Hest making an EP in his living room with nothing more than an SM57 and his laptop and a USB interface, a cheap one at that. I'm not talking about some high-end USB interface. So the concept is that if you're just waiting to have the money to do this and you think you need a few $1,000s or more, it's no longer an excuse. You can go out today with just a little bit of money set aside and invest in a small home studio and start making the music you love. I love that. I'm grateful for that. I couldn't do all the things I do at the rate I do them if it weren't for the cost of technology coming down. So gear is no longer an excuse. Axiom number 2 is simplicity wins. Simplicity and limitations are the key to making great sounding records, and it's more important now than it almost ever has been because there are so many options. Because of axiom number 1, so much gear is so affordable, you need to limit your options. I write about this in the number 1 rule of home recording, the ebook that you can download for free at the website. Go read that. It's a whole expose on that concept, and I trace it out. My whole philosophy on how that one rule applies to all aspects of recording and mixing. But it's so true. If you can just pick a DAW and 1 or 2 microphones and some go-to plugins that come stock or the ones you bought or whatever you like, just pick a handful of things that you're going to use regularly. Limit the decision making you have to do. Remove some decisions you have to make, whether it's should I use this EQ or that EQ, or should I use this DAW or switch to another DAW, or should I use this microphone for guitars? What about for vocals? Should I use a different one? Who cares? Who cares? Just pick 1 or 2 things and use them like crazy. Use them all the time, because what that does is that removes the variable of, oh, was it this mic that sounded better on my guitar and that's why I got a better guitar sound this time? If you remove the variables of gear and choices and plug-in choices, then that allows you to just get to work on what does make a difference in your sound, is mic placement, performance, mic technique, gain staging, all sorts of stuff. And mixing in general is a whole host of little teeny decisions that you'll learn from practice. The more you mix, the more you learn. Using the exact same plugins, you can still get a better result. So not to say that you shouldn't use different gear down the road, or that different mics aren't a nice way to get a different sound or different mic pre's. I get that concept, believe me. But what I'm saying is limitations are your best friend. They will get you out of the rut of what do I do? Where do I start? Pick 1 or 2 things and go with it, and I promise you, you will get further than the guy that's debating between which plugin to use on the next mix, okay? Or the guy that's debating other people on the internet, in a forum somewhere that has nothing to do with the guy that's actually going out and making a record. That's the kind of person you want to be, the person that just gets after it, okay? So simplicity and limiting your options is the number 2 constant or truth axiom that I believe the recording revolution is founded on. And number 3, that leads to number 3, which is if you realize that gear is not an excuse, you can go out and get the gear. If you realize that simplicity and limitations are paramount to success, then you'll stop wasting time making decisions and you'll just pick a mic or 2, a plug-in or 2, a DAW or 2, and get to work. That leads to number 3, which is the guys that just actually finish a project will get further ahead than the ones that are just got their hands in a bunch of things and they never finish anything. You have to get over yourself that you want your first mix or record or EP or whatever to be the absolute best thing on planet Earth. It's just not going to be that way. If you wait forever until you've read all of my articles or watched all my videos or watched all of Dave Pensato's videos or listened to every interview from lord-alge or been to every audio recording school you can imagine before you actually take your songs that you love, that you care about, and put them to a recording and mix them, if you wait that long, you're never going to get anything accomplished, and you're never going to get good. You might think the logic is, I'll get good at this, and then I'll be able to use that strategy and that knowledge and that experience and apply it to my song so that my record goes out and it sounds great. Hate to break it to you, you're going to have to make some bad sounding records, okay? You're just going to have to get started. If you've got songs written, if you're an artist, or if you've got an artist that's coming to you and they want to pay you and you're getting started and you're real cheap for a studio and you're afraid it's not going to be perfect, get over it. It's not going to be perfect, okay? You're never going to make a perfect record, but you are going to get better with each one you do. So because gear is so affordable and because I believe limitations are key, follow those 2 axioms and then just get to work and finish a project. Do the best you can with the knowledge you have, with the gear you have, and finish it, master it, submit it for duplication or pressing or launch it online as a downloadable release, but just get your hands off of it and release it, okay, into the world. You might cringe because it may not be perfect, especially after if you listen to it a month or 2 later, you'll go, I wish I would have done this, or find a better way to make that vocal sound this way, or that kick drum sounds awful. Who cares? You finished it. That is what leads you to making a better record the next time. And when you finish that one, that leads you to making a better record the next time. You have to complete projects. So I'm teaching this all the time. I have to live by this myself because I have the exact same tendencies. I'll wait around until I have that right piece of gear or until I know that one trick to make the guitar sound so sweet. What really I need to do is make a timeline, schedule in the recording dates, schedule in the mixing dates for myself, even if it's my own music, and just make it happen. As soon as I'm done with the record, as great as I think it sounds, I'll probably hate it 6 months from now, but that will encourage me and spur me on to making the next one, writing more music, or doing new mixes, or doing new recordings of songs, or new arrangements of stuff I've done in the past. This is how you get good, people. So, these 3 truth statements that I think apply to the world at large right now, the recording revolution we're living in, and specifically, these are 3 core principles that I live off of in my studio and my work, and that I'm going to write out of on the blog and on these videos all the time. Anything I say, anything I teach, anything I suggest is going to be built out of this concept. So, gear is not an excuse, so stop waiting around for that piece of gear. Go make a record today, okay? Simplicity. Stop debating what to use and just pick something. It really doesn't matter what microphone you use for vocals or acoustic guitar. I'm sorry to say, it doesn't matter. There is no best. Just pick something and use it. And number 3, please finish a project. Make a deadline. Just finish it. Don't let it stew forever and ever and ever. Make a goal, make a timeline, wrap it up, and move on. You will get so much more out of your recordings. Your mixing will get better. You will be excited, and you will start a healthy habit and process for getting better down the road, okay? That's all I have to say. I hope that helps you guys and inspires you a little bit, and I thought it'd be a great way to celebrate again. 3 years of the recording revolution. I don't know where the time's gone. I can't wait for the next 30 years of doing something like this. It's a blessing and a privilege to do it. Thanks for your time. Leave a comment on the blog if you haven't already. And again, if you're on YouTube and you're leaving a bunch of comments, I don't have a ton of time to listen to or respond to all those comments. I'm trying to respond to most of them over on the blog at therecordingrevolution.com. So that's probably the best place for you to go. But again, I appreciate your support. Thanks for taking a few minutes out of your day to watch this, and all of you guys that have supported the site and that have stuck with me from the beginning. I appreciate you, and I hope to learn alongside you guys as we move forward into another few years of recording and mixing, and we hopefully all make better music in our studios, because that's the whole point of this anyway. Take care, guys. We'll see you on another video soon.